Well, good morning. Got a late start today because we stayed at the hut for breakfast, and so it's like almost 8 o'clock. We only have a mile and a half or so to Washington, and about, I think, 1,600 feet of elevation change, 1,700 feet. But then the weather, we should have decent weather at Washington. It might be cloudy. That's okay. You know, it won't be a great view, but afterwards, it's not looking good on the way afterwards. So we got to get up and over Madison also. And then it's supposed to be ugly. So, all right, so here, I'm gonna turn this around. Here's one of the lakes. All right, it's Lakes of the Clouds. I've been calling it Lake of the Clouds. Here's one of them. There's another lake somewhere around here. That's pretty cool. We're up on 5,000 feet of elevation, and there's a lake up here. Yeah, so plan today is roughly 10 miles. But it's going to be challenging still. We're going to be above the tree line most of it. So if a storm comes through earlier than expected, it's going to be difficult. All right. Oh, I showed it in the video picture yesterday, but I got to see my friend Stevie Wonder yesterday. Met her granddaughter and a friend back in Pennsylvania a while ago, and she just happened to be at the Mizpah hut while we were there. So that's pretty cool. It's good to see her again. All right. As always, if I see anything interesting, I'll grab a picture or some video. Here's what the trail looks like. And then I'm going to show you where Washington is. Here's the trail. And then above it, where those clouds are, there's Washington. You can see the towers on there. All right, made it to the summit of Mount Washington, and it's not horrible. It's a little hazy, but it could have been a lot worse. I'm happy with it. It only took about 45 minutes to get here from the hut. So I'm still at the summit of Mount Washington, and I mean, check this out. View from the other side of the mountain peak. the cog rail that could take you up to Mount Washington. There's also a way to drive up there, but I climbed it. There's the train going up to Mount Washington. That's Mount Jefferson. Again, the trail doesn't go through or over it, so we're bypassing it. We're in the middle of the Ridge Walk. I mean, just great views all around. I could stop every 30 seconds and take a picture or some video. It wouldn't do it justice. Got another view of Mount Washington here. You can see the auto road, part of it that goes up to the summit. Coming up to the Madison Hut. We're gonna stop there, regroup, and have some lunch, I suppose, before we move on. At the base of the mountain. Alright, so we're getting pretty close to a campsite now, I think. Madison, so after we left the hut, we stopped at the hut for probably about a half hour, had something to eat, and then while we were there, some rain came through, and then afterwards it was misty. You couldn't see very far in front of us, and so I had to, but we still had to get over Madison, and that was a fun challenge, because then all the rocks were wet, and it was basically, just going from one rock to the next the whole way up and down. Now we're in a descent. We're below the tree line, so that transit over the what they call the Presidential Traverse or something. I was basically all over above the tree line, and there's some storms coming in, so we really were working to get out back under the tree line before the thunderstorms came in, and it looks like they're holding off a little bit. We were expecting them already, but it's almost 5 and they haven't hit yet. I just almost slipped. Haven't hit yet, so we're fortunate, but we've been below the tree line for a while now, and just a long descent down towards a campsite. So didn't get any pictures, or the only picture I got of Madison was that video right beforehand showing the hut, before the rain really came in, because like I said, afterwards it was all misting, couldn't see anything. All right, so I'll pick up again later in the campsite. For now, here's what the trail looks like. All right, well, it's, about 7:20, kind of late, and it's a little dark out. The thunderstorms that have been threatening sort of all day are still threatening. You were hearing some thunder, but hasn't really opened up yet. There's actually, at least this morning, they were saying that there's a flood watch in effect. I don't know what else is going on. Evidently, this is the remnants of Hurricane Beryl that is now, made its way up into New England and is, going to cause some issues. But, tonight's supposed to be kind of ugly. Tomorrow's supposed to be ugly. And then it's supposed to be good for a while. we've had a good stretch of nice weather, and even this morning, it was a little misty. It was pretty good on Mount Washington. Had good views, and then even for a few hours after that, we had good views, clear weather, and then it started getting cloudy, and yeah, the rest of the day kind of wasn't as much fun. And then we had a long descent off of Monroe, and then finally down into the tree line. Yeah, they just it was pretty much long descent, not super steep, but steep enough that you had to really pay attention. And it's just it is fatiguing, I guess. I don't know if that's really even a word, but that's the way it feels. You're having to really pay attention to every step that you're taking, and where you're placing your foot, and it's just, you're tired, right, from all the walking, and you're having to think about that on top of it. I slipped a couple times, fell on my butt once or twice. Nothing bad, just sort of got up, brushed myself off, said some choice words, and moved on. But yeah, that part of the day wasn't fun. Getting up to Washington, that was kind of cool. Yeah, it's I think about some of the awesome experiences I've had so far, and I just can't even imagine what else is still to come. I've got about 300 and something miles left for this part to get to Katahdin, and then I've got about 1,000 miles for the southern portion. So I've got a lot of time still, a lot of hiking to do, and a lot more experiences are in front of me. So yeah, looking forward to it. It's God, it's so challenging here. The terrain is tough. New Hampshire is tough. I don't know of any other word to describe it. But you deal with that tough for a while, and you get up into the mountains, and you get to see so much. So it's a very cool experience. All right, well, I think it's finally starting to rain. It's been threatening, and yeah, there it comes. I'm feeling the sprinkles. All right, so I'm going to close this out. If you've stuck through to the end, I appreciate it. I will see you again tomorrow on the trail.